We're up. Sorry. Very focused this morning. It is Monday morning. It is Monday, October 1st. What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, que pasa, sluta? What up, mama? What up, Spidey over at the Refugio? What up, everybody, sports fans? It is playoff baseball, game 163. We have MLB. We're going to talk about the two wildcard games. We got NFL. We're going to talk about the Monday Nighter. And then we have NHL. We are going to begin our deep dive into NHL futures. We're going to start today with the Eastern Conference. We're going to do the Western Conference on the Late Show. I have not made any futures bets yet, but I will be making them with my team, my low baggers who are joining us. Thank you guys so much. As you can tell, the legend, Lodels, Peter Loshak, is in NYC taking care of business in NYC. So he's not going to be with me this week. So please send him love. We send you safe travels, Peter. Be safe in NYC. And know that you are loved. But what a great group of guys we have with us. Arthur Meade Jr. in the house. Respect for being the first commenter. Dave L.A., Kyle Jack, Alex Ledsinger, Dan Kelly, Joey Kerr, Scotty Rock, Ole Miss back in action. Nice to have Ole Miss back. Nasty Nate, Dave L.A., Karen C. What it is, Karen, King Rail. Oh, and King Rail's first live King's Court starts today. I can't wait to be a part of his live show. Marco Lou, baseball season is over. It's not, Marco Lou. We still have time to clean up some of my horrifying record. Walter Trotter, Red Girl, Stephen Alla, Ski Prophet, Tom Marina, Tom Moore, Jared Schrader, Antoine Seymour, Isaac Higgins, Taylor Jones. Okay, first off, do you guys remember Friday's show? When a man, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, Jay Jackson came in and said, take Tulane on the money line, destroy your bookie, and more to that sort. My God, was he right? I believe his name is Jay Jackson. Please come back to us, Jay Jackson. That was uncanny. Dan Kelly says, get some of that super secret prune juice from Pete. Keep up that health. That is a great idea. I could use that. Big Tank, the gangster with us. Salvador Del Bosque with us. John Roy saying, where is Larry at? Well, Larry's taking care of the ladies in the other room. But John Roy, our resident Chicago Bears expert working at Soldier Field, let us know, and I should have just blindly jumped all over it. But he let us know that the field was, even though they'd had it covered and stuff like that, but he was giving us field information last minute because there was an idea that maybe the field was going to be wet. It wasn't. And John Roy said, I'm at Soldier Field, take the over, and very impressive stuff. Alex Malbury with us. We got a great group. Okay, so John Roy would have come to Costa Rica to guest host. Hey, man, please do. Brooke Jordan says, where is Total Loshak? He is in NYC with business to take care of. Okay, let's get to work. Tomor says, I like Milwaukee to win the division, plus 110. Budenholzer shouldn't. Oh, we're talking basketball. Sorry, of course. Budenholzer should improve the offense a lot. The issue Milwaukee had last year was Greek Freak getting hurt because they depended on him too much. Man, it's going to be great having the experts from King's Court on our show all the time. Marco Lou says, there's a green room full of female interns at SBR. No, sadly, there is not, Marco Lou. Sadly, there is not. There is a not even a green room, actually. There's an office space with women that are our equals that we treat with respect and dignity. How's that? That sounded pretty good. Marco Lou, Costa Rican female interns. Can I come on your show? No, we are. Now you can hire beautiful Costa Rican interns. We can go down to Hotel Del Rey, bring up. Now they don't have a lot of sports information, and I'm going to keep it clean. But we can. They're not too expensive. We can afford them. I would be able to afford them if I wasn't losing my everything at baseball. But I did come second in my baseball pool, so that will be about $800 coming into me. And I will put that all in the Breeders' Cup. I need to have a grand ready for the Breeders' Cup that's coming up very soon. Dan Kelly, I had two bad beats to lose my money line parlay. Syracuse Northwest, I paid 7-8 to 1. Heartbreak, man. Dan Kelly, I was thinking about you when Syracuse was coming so close, man. Was cheering for you. Yes, Crypto Crapper. Crypto Crapper. What's wrong? Crypto Capper. Props to Jay Jackson on his Tulane moneyline play last week. I was on Memphis and was humbled. That happens. No more Memphis road favorite plays. I agree. Eric Jones with us, not applicable. Juan Juarez. We got a great group. Okay, so let's get to this first wild card game. Now, I have made some moves. I've made some small moves. Oh, Yenny Toon with us. Beautiful. I made some small moves. One, as you guys know, I have $300 on the Dodgers to win the division. I got plus 210 on the show, but I believe I bet it at plus 190. I'm almost certain I got it plus 190 when I bet it. And I also have $300 on the Cubs at minus 125, thanks to a Tomarino Tomor heads up earlier in the season. Now, I've not hedged either. So basically, I'm just going to cover my back for the worst case scenario. I just made a small bet. I made an $80 parlay on the Brewers Rockies. I got plus 110 on the Brewers, plus 150 on the Rockies, Pays out plus 425. Just a small $80 parlay at plus 425 just to cover my worst case scenario. Trenton Claxton on Dodgers, first 5. I will tell you what, we'll get to that game second. But Dave L.A. as a max bet, and he's very successful in the Major League Baseball playoffs. We don't like giving up numbers, but you know what? I'm going to do this one time. He was up 14 G's last year in MLB playoffs, and he's a max bet, on the second game. But let's start running. Let's start rolling. Trenton Claxton on first 5. Not applicable says Edmonton, BC shit the bed in the CFL. They did. Not applicable. They did. That market line at 7 and 7.5. The Ticats favored. They wanted you to bet the Lions, and some of us fell for that trap. I thought the Lions were live. I was so caught up in college football that I didn't make the play. And again, we saw that Stamp situation where a lot of people thought maybe because they're going to beat up on the Argonauts, maybe take them first half. But the Stamps are this team that slowly beats you to death and doesn't do it quickly. And they didn't cover the 7.5, but they easily covered the full game of 13.5, between 14.5, 13.5, whatever you got. Okay, and King Rail coming back saying the Bucks will not win the division. I can't wait till we start talking basketball. So we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move into NBA futures and stuff like that moving forward this week. But today we are gonna focus on NHL futures. Salvador Del Boss says Brewers, baby. Let's get into it. So Hulis Chassin, we thought maybe there would be a bullpen day. That is not the case. The Brewers are going with Hulis Chassin against Jose Quintana. Haven't we seen this matchup over and over and over and over again all season? Stephen Mraz saying, Jimmy, take the Cubs. Chazzy and Coin says, Jimmy, where's your homeless friend? He's in New York City right now, Chazzy and Coins. But that got me. Okay. Now, sorry, I screwed up hinting at Dave LA's max bet. Dave LA's max bet, I'm jumping on. And as you guys know, as baseball has crushed me, I moved my unit size down to a half unit. Been betting $100, but I'm betting $250 on this bet. I'm betting the first 5 over 4.5. I just feel like even though it's 63 Fahrenheit, a little cold, and the wind's blowing in, I agree with Dave LA's prediction that there will be a lot of runs early. I agree that they've seen a ton of Chassin, a ton of Quintana. Winner gets the NL Central. Loser in the wildcard game tomorrow. Cubs on 11-8 advantage in the season series, won 11 of 19. But the Brewers have won 7 straight and 9 of 10. They're playing good baseball. Quintana 13-11. There's my man Dave LA saying, let's eat. I know he's betting a lot more than I'm betting on this, but I'm still a little gun shy to make big bets after the horrifying summer I've been through. Quintana, 13-11, 4.09 ERA, 1.32 whip, through 169 in a third, 154 Ks, 68 walks, being solid in September. 2 or fewer earned runs in 4 of his 5 starts, and he's coming off a no decision against the Pirates in which he surrendered 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings, 6-2. This is the reason why he's there. 6-2 with a 1.60 ERA in 10 career starts against the Brewers. Now, Chassin had a great season. 15-8, 3.56 ERA, 1.18 whip. Looked great. Lefties hit him hard. That's a big situation in this game, is that lefties hit him not that hard, but 265, 786, much harder than righties. And we look at this lineup, and we got a Murphy lefty, Zobrist switch who can lefty, then Baez, you have to have him in the lineup, then Rizzo a lefty, then Bryant, you have to have him in the lineup. So the 3 guys that they have to have in the lineup are righties, Baez, Bryant, and Contreras, but then all lefties. Murphy, Zobrist, Rizzo, Schwarber, Hayward, Quintana. And, Quintana doesn't have that issue. Of one side of the plate hitting him so much harder than the other. So that's where we're at. Steve Mraz coming in under. I'm on the first 5 over. And then there's a lot of talk here about NBA, which is good. King U about business saying Cubs have some good lefties. And Nasty Nate says, why not the full game over? I'm concerned about the strength of the Brewers, which is their bullpen. You're right. The full game over makes sense. I'm just going to go big on the first 5 over, and that is my play. Natalie Alvarez joining us. Sweet. Looking forward to hear some wifey picks. Says Hayward is a bum, can't hit a fastball to save his life. Marco Lou's on the Brewers and over 8. Tomore's on the Cubs first 5, and I like it. I think Jay Stash asking if Tomore likes the Cubs. And he is. He's on the Cubs' first 5. So that is that first wild card game that is set to pop off in, I believe, 47 minutes. I believe that is in 47 minutes, or I guess 52 minutes. And exciting. So we got some big old baseball. Chazzy N. Coin says, Dan, take the Brewers, plus 117. Jay says, Roger that. Natalie Alvarez is also on the Brewers. Kingu About Business is on a prop. Chasine K's under. Trent Claxton liking Milwaukee first 5 money line. So we don't have everybody together in this situation, but I did not expect that. We knew that the Brewers are the very hot team going up against a Cubs team, a veteran Cubs team that's been there and done it before. So I understood that people would be on both sides. Dave Huang says, Jimmy, I love Colorado today. What happened to Pete? Pete is fine. Pete is healthy, although his treehouse is available for the next few days. Might take a few ladies back there. But yes, he's in New York and he's safe and sound. But you can always send him your best at any time. Udon Porn, Ratina Fact, he says over is the play. Raul Rogers says, I'm on that over. Scotty Rock Forever says, I swear if the Cubs win this game, I'm going to slap Dave. Okay. Natalie Alvarez says, love the over as well, but full game. And Corey Jean says, what line did you get it over 4.5? I got plus 105. And I'm sure there are better lines out there. So let's make an official play right now. Totals right here. First half. There's a plus 112 at Pinnacle. Oh, but there's 4s available. I'm going to take a 4 for my official play for sure. For sure I am. Bookmaker has a minus 125. So does Heritage. Okay, let's see what the Greek is hanging. Greek's not up yet. Interesting. Okay, I will take over 4 minus 125 at Bookmaker. An official pick here. First 5. And if you know what, if I could have got 4 instead of 4.5, I probably would have bet a little bit more money. Scripted Sports to the Point says, hey, Jim Bag, take the Rocks and the Brewers. Now that, as you guys know, as I said, would have been my worst case scenario. I would be down $600, but I did put an $80 parlay together at plus 425 to take care of my worst case scenario. Dave L.A. saying, yes, you can get 4 or 4.5 at plus money. I prefer 4 at minus 125, excuse me. Available at Bookmaker. Oh, no. Our great friend Elio Rodriguez has lost a family member to cancer yesterday, 40 days after being diagnosed. Here because I need a break from everything negative. We sending strength and love to your family, Elio Rodriguez. So hard to hear that. And just heartbreaking. It seems like cancer keeps being the asshole, and all we can do is make each day as positive as possible, and also donate to cancer charities. And that's something that the Money Gang's been doing, and as much as we can do is donate and see if we can work on finding a cure. And so sad. Sorry to hear that, Elio. We love you so much and hate hearing that a family member has gone down. So sending love. Hardy Party says, I'm trailing you with that first 5 over. I'm liking it, Jimmy. And then, of course, a family member, Elio Rodriguez, getting love from our team here. And that means so much. Triple Beam says, unreal. Rockies were in San Francisco, minimal travel. Hottest team in baseball. Absolutely pouring it on people. Loaded with vets. Being together for 4 years, getting plus 150. Got it. I get it. I can understand it. Why don't we move on to that game here? And I would be, Triple Beams, I hear what you were saying. Oh, Rockies were in Colorado. Sorry, it was a mistake. But I do feel like the Brewers would have something to say about, being the hottest team in baseball. Okay, thank you, Dan Kelly, giving us the update in KHL 1-1 Jokerit. Jokerit is a beast of a hockey team, and that was a tip from R2D2 Finland that I started following closer and closer, and very impressed with what I have seen. Joe Anisi says, I'm on the over first 5 and full game over. I like it. Well, let's move on to game 2 of the wild card today. Rockies at Dodgers. Already had a lot of back and forth about this game. Tomor says triple beams. I think it's a tough game to bet. Marquez has been great on the road, but the Rockies' offense doesn't travel. Tomor says Rockies' offense has been mediocre on the road all year, and prayers and love going out to Elio Rodriguez's family. Stephen Mraz saying low hanging fruit of the day, Cubs money line. I would sure like to see that. And Dom Ricci saying Rockies average over 8 runs a game in their last 10. Wow, interesting. Joy Crawford, when was the last NL West Divisional title the Rockies have won? The answer is never. They have never won. When they won the NL in 2007, they didn't win the division. They have never won the division. Oh no, Twadi Latte telling us that Pete fell out of his treehouse. I hope he landed on soft grass. It is rainy season and made it to the airport. Speedy Fighter, hey Jimmy, I hope everything's going good. Been traveling the past month, but I'll be back to try and help everyone cap the NHL. Beautiful. Okay. Let's break down this game. Herman Marquez versus Walker Buehler, 2 extraordinary young pitchers who are pitching very, very well right now. And just a last note, we'll go back on, and Robin Spears is on overs in both games today. And Over the Pants Butt Stuff says, while the lineups and pitching matchups in the Cubs game point to over, Joe Madden will use the bullpen to keep the score under 8. Scotty Rock Forever coming in with his Monday nighter, first half Chiefs -3. That's an interesting spot. And Dave Huang, Rockies over 3 is the play of the day. King about business, Rockies Brewers, 2 hottest teams in baseball. One of them will end up in the wild card game. We just have to predict which one does. Natalie Alvarez says, Buehler going to get touched tonight. I've loved Buehler's character on the mound. I love the way he handled that 108-mile-an-hour fastball off of Trevor Story back that cracked ribs, and he stayed in the game for 2 more innings and made his starts for the next 3 in a row until he had to sit out for 5 weeks to mend that broken rib. Tomer saying Buehler and Marquez, same age. These 2 pitchers faced each other on May 21st, a long time ago. Both pitched gems. Both gave up 1 run, 2 hits in 7 innings. Buehler, 6 strikeouts, 1 more than Marquez's 5. Marquez has been incredible this year. 14-10. 3.76 ERA, 1.20 whip, through 191 in the third, 221 Ks, 55 walks. Marquez last 12 starts dating back to the 29th of July, 6-2 with a 2.16 ERA. On the road, 8-4, 2.91 ERA. He was 2-0 in 3 starts against the Dodgers with a 2.57 ERA in 21 innings. Lefties hit 290, 783 OPS off him. Righties don't hit him. 188, 589 OPS off him. Let's hear a little bit of comments from you guys, and then we'll break down Buehler a bit. Natalie Alvarez, like in Colorado, alternative run line, -1.5. That would be a big score. Rob Portwando saying both games today under. Red Girl on Marquez, strikeout over 5.5. I like that. Tomar saying Marquez has been great, but he's faced some very weak lineups and teams not hitting recently, like Philly and Arizona. Oh, Josh Nordseek. New commenter, great to have you, says Marquez has a longer leash than Buehler. Marquez has been nails as long as he can handle the pressure. Nighthawk says, I'm taking the over 7. It's a safe bet. 2 great offenses. All comes down to 1 game. Let's get touched. Wow. Richard, falling back a bit. Richard Reyes saying, I'm liking that Marquez K over. That Red Girl, who is a master of props, is on. Joey Crawford, Buehler, 0.90 ERA, 0.70 whip last 3. Just got 12 Ks last week against the Rockies. Crypto Capper saying, hit fest in Chicago, pitching duel in LA. I like the sounds of that. Ski Profit taking the under in the Dodgers. What line are you getting? I'll take a look at that soon. Okay. Lamont Williams, Cubs run line, Cubs full game over, Colorado Rockies money line, and 76ers run line, full game and over in the football game. Interesting stuff. Okay, I'm falling a little behind. Let's break down Buehler, who Marquez will be going up against. Buehler, 7-5, 2.76 ERA, 0.98 whip. I think he's ready for a type of game like this. Dave L.A. was saying that he is the Dodgers' #1 pitcher. He is taking over from Clayton Kershaw. I agree with that sentiment. As of July 31st, 1.70 ERA in his last 11 starts. He's been lights out. In one of those, September 19th, as we talked about in the chat, struck out 12 Rockies batters. 2.61 ERA, 0.97 whip, 5 starts against the Rockies this season. At home, Buehler's dangerous too. 3-3, 2.12 ERA. Listen to this. Lefties hit 197 off him. Righties hit 199 off of him. He just seems to get everybody out. Dodgers, 255, 794 OPS versus righties. Much better than the Rockies, 249, 739 OPS versus righties. Dom Ricci, I'm leaning over Rockies team total. Kylie Reynolds, where's NHL totals guys on here? We're going to be breaking down the whole Eastern Conference very shortly. My man, Mr. Gokster in the house. Okay, let's see. Tomor says, I don't think the Rockies are desperate, Triple Beams. I think they're happy to be in the postseason. Eric Nisbet on the Brewers and the Rockies, which will give you a plus 425 parlay if you want to put it together like that. Natalie Alvarez, Chiefs team total over. Write it. They'll have 23 by the half. Wow, he's not afraid of that Broncos defense. That does not look quite as tough as in years past. Normel says Dodgers should win, but that price is high. Shaquille Bell, no runs in the first inning. I like that. Tomar saying Buehler great at home, but he wears down. Doesn't usually pitch out of the sixth, and Dodgers bullpen is an issue. Speedy Fighter, Dodgers tend to win games by 2 at home recently. And Udon Porn, Ratanafakti, Dodgers run line, and over 7. My man Dave Huang, Buehler won't go more than 6 innings. Bullpen will give up 4 runs. Wow. Ski Profit, Marquez pitched twice against the Dodgers this year, won 15 innings, gave up just 4 hits. Beautiful. Mr. Gokster's ready for these NHL breakdowns. So am I. I know we're already talking about NFL, which is very exciting. But let's just finalize this Rockies-Dodgers. I will not be making an official play. I have the parlay going, and if the parlay's not live, if the Cubs win, that's great. I got $300 on them to win the division. I'm fine. And then if it is live, then I'm fine pretty much either way. I mean, I will lose about $220 or something overall, but I can handle that. Especially cashing the $500 bet I made on the Toronto Blue Jays to win under 81.5 wins. Actually, bet a close friend of mine as well. So added another $100 on that. But that's what it is and what it isn't. Let's talk. Let's hear from John Roy. Very interested to hear anything about Chicago from this guy. Says just found out that it's supposed to rain around 5 p.m. Chicago time. So the ump will speed this playoff game up by expanding the strike zone. These playoff games can last more than 4 hours in a 9-inning game. Wow. Talk about great insights from John Roy. Thank you, my man. King Hu says Rockies have never won a division, and today they get a chance to do it for the first time. I like it. Q Peso, my man Q Peso, father of our first child of the Lobag show, Lobagalin. Q Peso says we can agree to disagree. I'm still on Denver. Okay, well, it is time. Wow, Josh Burr says Broncos Rockies correlated with the tailgaters in Denver. We will move forward. Q Peso, anyone have World Series futures? Man, you know, I stopped making futures at some point during the season early. I will only have 2 left after the division. I will only have the Yankees to win the World Series, which does not look very good at plus 600. And I have the Oakland A's to win the American League at plus 100. Or sorry, at 100 to 1. Excuse me, plus 100 to 1. But I have $100 on that. I will be making. I'm not going to be hedging though. The wild card game. I'm going to wait. Here comes R2D2. Finland says 3 days of drinking at the Oktoberfest wore me out. So dead. Welcome back to life, my friend. Gas Station Sushi. Love the under in the Chiefs Broncos. 55 points is absurd. Very, very interesting. Why don't we get to that? So that is the 2 wild card games there. I'm on the first 5 over 4 at minus 125 is an official play, and that is it. Other than that parlay. So. Let's move on to the Monday Nighter. Let's move on to NFL, and we'll close it all with Chad Costanza saying, such a monster game at Wrigley Field. Gets home field through the playoffs. Loser on the road all playoffs. Yes, Chad, that is bang on. It is a huge, huge. Okay, let's get to this Monday Nighter. Chiefs at Broncos. High total, 55. Let's see if that has changed at all since my shows. That's the first half total of 28, 27.5 at some places. Full game totals here, 54.5. There's no 55s left. There's one at Bovada, which we don't use. And the Greek has gone down to 54. So interesting. 54.5s and a 54 at Bet Online. Very interesting. Tom Regis saying, I like the Cubs more and more. I will be cheering for them. Okay, let's let Reggie get us rolling, saying, I'm liking the Broncos and the over. Also, Whale Capper. What I thought was the most exciting play of the week is also on the Broncos plus the point. The offensive weapons that the Chiefs have are incredible. Let's see if there's been any change on that, because I did see it go down to 3.5. That's it, 3.5. There's a 4.5 at Bovada Wild. 4 at Intertop. So our friends at Intertops are still hanging a 4 if you want to grab it at -110 on each side. So that's a nice line if you are backing the Broncos. Well, check out our Intertops package at the link at the bottom of our YouTube page. We have a new account bonus and a reload bonus, and they hooked that up for us. So please click the link, use Intertops. Great book. One of the first, and a book that we are thankful that we are on a team with. Okay. Kylie Reynolds making a soccer play quickly. Sevilla, Wolves, Tottenham, and Tottenham parlay. Sevilla, Wolves, Tottenham parlay. Okay, so we have people coming in on each side. And Zach Kenkel cashing more KHL action. Great job, Zach. CSKA Moscow under 4.5. Jay Peach says KC scoring 35. Good luck with Denver. Sniffing 21. Interesting. So Jay Peach loving these Chiefs to smash. Gokster saying Lindsay will have a breakout. Scotty Rock saying Lindsay ain't going to do shit. Scotty Rock saying, wow, he's worried about all the Bronco backers. Very concerned about the Bronco backers. Kingsley Maydew says the under will hit. Well, let's break this down some more. We know that this Chiefs team has very scary offensive weapons. Tyreek Hill, uncoverable. Travis Kelce at tight end. You know, they have so many options that you forget that Sammy Watkins is just running around free. Andy Reid, clearly he's never had an arsenal like this in his career. Steven Mraz, also under. Shout me out tomorrow. Chiefs top 5 in third down defense, says my man Josh. Chiefs will have 24 at halftime, says Triple Beams. That Kenkel says Broncos +5. Grabbed him on Tuesday in the Super Contest. Wow. Also taking Denver money line, says Q Peso. Ralph also on the under. Interesting. Wadi Latte joining us. Kansas City -4 is his play. Mahomes is averaging a league-high 39.3 points per game, 13 touchdowns in the first 3 games of the season, and Keenum has not looked good. Passed for 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, coming off a season-low 192 yards passing at Baltimore, but we just saw the Baltimore Ravens, their defense bottle up Big Ben last night. Jake Butt also done for the year. Their offense is not giving their defense enough support. The running games look bad. The Chiefs' defense has surrendered 30.7 points per game, but can this Broncos offense take advantage? I guess that's the biggest question. Broncos D is on the field all game long, and this secondary is no longer the no-fly zone. No longer the no-fly zone. Let's see. Dom Ricci says, seems not many are stopping Flacco. Ravens a new team to watch out for. I agree. Chris Blanchard says, Broncos outright. Wow. Finally, Mahomes faces a real pass rush. Well, we know how dangerous Von Miller and Chubb could be. We know that for sure. Triple Beam says, thoughts on 49ers and Chargers and Steelers. Oh, thought 49ers, Chargers, and Steelers were contenders. Yes, Tomer saying 49ers defense isn't horrible. We expect more from this 49ers defense as they get healthier. QP says Von Miller will look like Khalil Mack. Mr. Gokster spot is perfect for Denver, even though they're going up against a top 5 offense. Neil Frank, Chiefs team total under. Wow, there's another guy. My man Bill Butlicker, Jimmy, I originally bet the over in the Chiefs game, but now I'm honestly starting to feel like Denver won't be able to put up points. Lynn wants to run and shorten the game possessions for the Chiefs. I think that is a great, great point, Bill. That has to be the way you defend the Chiefs, is try to keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible. Nutflush Allen, how much will the altitude get to KC's passing game? Good question. Vandy Candy, all the offensive options, and Patrick at quarterback -3.5 is the play. Triple Beams, Chiefs will trip up. Excuse me. Sorry. Triple Beams says Chiefs will trip up. It will be in snow, rain, or down in the swamps at Jazz. Don't expect it in the dome or in good weather. That's where the Chiefs will trip up, will be in an outdoor, maybe in a Mile High Stadium. Yes, Scotty Rock says Von Miller only dangerous when he got that needle. Von Miller ain't shit. Whoa. That is hardcore. Very, very hardcore stuff there, Scotty Rock, doubting the great Von Miller. Christopher Carter, weather is good. Chiefs in primetime, making a statement, not stepping in front of him. Kyle Jack, Chiefs and under. Wow, King Rail, I might take the alternate line -11.5 for the Chiefs. Wow, Denver will get eaten up. Kingu about business. I think Von Miller gets to Mahomes. He will rough him up. When Von Miller faces top quarterbacks, he shows he's special. He's on defense. He is a elite defensive pass rusher. I love Von Miller to get at least 2 sacks. And Mr. Gokster, no way it hits 54, guy. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Oh, but then Natalie Alvarez says Chiefs team total over is the lock. But again, he's not saying the full game over, which very few people are saying. T Nice says altitude will wear down the Chiefs. Denver money line. See, the Broncos just have given me no reason to believe in them. So Sana says Chiefs have never been favored by more than -1.5 in Denver. Chiefs have played in 4 different time zones in 4 weeks. Denver's the only team to see Mahomes twice. Yes, talking about that late game in 2017. My man Lamont Williams joining us. Christopher Carter, Von Miller is a top-notch defender. I agree. I agree. KC has 5 super skilled fast players on offense. Oh, okay, I feel that. I get that. Tomer saying Von Miller is great, but Denver doesn't have a second pass rush the way they did with Super Bowl years like DeMarcus Russ. I agree with that. Tomer. I think that is a very, very good point. And Joe Licari says everybody's all over the place. Everybody is all over the place on the sides, but not the totals. Seems like everybody is on the under. Tomor saying Eagles dropped nearly 40 in this first half against the same defensive D last year. Maybe I'm just so hesitant. I'm so hesitant to take that under because I don't believe in this Broncos secondary. Like, they're clearly not who they used to be. Clearly not the no-fly zone anymore. And this Chiefs offense just looks too scary to stand in the way of. Zach Kinkel says Chiefs will regress eventually, just like last season. Defense can't stop anyone. Al Hart says Denver had played from behind so far this season. Chiefs have led in all games this season. Triple Bean says stop with the altitude angle. Chiefs up there every year. Broncos have more travel. Tomer says Keenum doesn't have Shermer anymore. He looks very mediocre. I think that's a great. And Dan Kelly agrees the altitude is a non-issue. Says Chiefs go to Denver every year. They know what to expect. Altitude matters when it's Coastal Carolina going to play U of Denver for the first time. Not here. Good point. Very, very interesting. Wadi Latte giving us a final score, 31-21 Chiefs, which would hit the under. Oh, wow. R2D2. My nephew went 5-0 in pro boxing career Saturday, 5 KOs. Wow, give us his name. We'd love to follow along with him. Joey Crawford saying altitude always matters beginning of the season. Wow. I guess so. I'd have to say after hearing what everybody had to say that the under is becoming more and more appealing. Scotty Rock says KCD is definitely suspect. My man Jimmy G cashed Baltimore +3 and under 51 parlay last night. Nice work, Jimmy G. Nice work. Scotty Rock forever. All good when Mahomes puts up 40 on your ass. Kylie Reynolds, where all them Brown fans that said the Raiders were going to lose. Yeah, what a wild game that was. Garcia says Mahomes sets the bar for the next generation of QBs. So I guess in all of this, but Alonzo Shivers on the over. Dan Kelly, I won't go against a Monday night home dog. Just won't do it. I am not sure what to do. I'm going to keep an eye on this, on the lines, the market. I'll keep an eye on the market, and then I will make a decision for the late show. But it's clear that the chat is on the under. Dom Ricci, Chiefs team total 24.5, Broncos team total 29.5. Are you taking the overs or unders there? And Dan Kelly, Browns were robbed. They were. It was wild. Okay. And Lamont Williams says the over is the play today. Well, I'm not going to rush into it because I was not planning on making an underplay in this game. Let's see. Massive game for Denver here. Massive, says Goxer. Shoshana, Chiefs have outscored opponents 73-43 in the first half of games this year. Joey Spencer. Okay, sweet. Thank you, R2D2 Finland. Joey Spencer. Arthur Meade Jr. saying, leave it alone. That might be the right thing to do. Let me write down Joey Spencer. Everybody, low baggers, let's keep an eye on R2D2's nephew, Joey Spencer, 5-0 as boxer so far this in his career. Love hearing that. Okay, Jesse Dykstra. There has to be an easier bet on the board than taking an under in a Chiefs game. You know what, Jesse Dykstra? I think that's very, very well put. I think that's very, very well put. But then Jimmy J comes in going on under on tonight's game. Wow, okay. I'm going to take a little time. And Scotty Rock forever, very heavy against this Broncos team, says against a half-ass Broncos team. And, of course, my man Scotty Rock forever using all capitals to make sure his point gets across. I respect it. Okay, well let's keep rolling. Well, I'm very excited. Now, if it's okay with you, we will hammer that NFL game a little more on the late show. But those are the 3 games. Not only have one official play on the 3 games on the card today. That is Brewers first 5 over 4, and that's my action. My man Clint says went 3-0 on Bellator MMA on Saturday with the picks I gave on the show Friday. Hope Pete put it on my record. I hope Pete put it on your record too. But your record is very good without it. There we go. Dan Kelly, Joker at 3, Soki 1. Shout out to my man R2D2 Finland. I should start, but I got a -1.5 and +110. But I should start betting more on Team Joker. Listen, this team is no joke. R2D2 put us on them. Follow Joker. They will put money in your wallet, and they've done it for me. Blake Kersey, Jimmy, bet for tonight. Broncos +4.5. Ronkies +5 or +0.5 on the first 5. I like it. Hoops 590 says, glad to hear you, Bag. Glad you're doing well. You know what, Hoops? It's been a horrifying baseball season, but we are on the other side of it now and getting ready for NHL and NBA, which is the bread and butter of this show, I feel. We have such incredible basketball cappers. And Kings Court will be live today for the first time, which is so exciting. They're going to be doing in-play bets and making people money. So Dave supported the Low Bag Show from day one. Please support Kings Court tonight, and we'll be making a big we'll do a lot of talk about that show on the late show. My man Eric Swells in the house, and Mr. Gokster 4-1 in Japanese baseball last night. Beautiful. Yes, Twatty Latte says a little birdie. Brent Brooks may have some gold coming out on NHL. I believe he will be. Okay, let's without further ado, let's, for the first time in a while since a very successful hockey season that we all had, let's get into the NHL Futures section, Eastern Conference Futures. We will be doing Eastern Conference Futures on this show. We will be doing Western Conference Futures on the afternoon show. And let's get right to work here with these Eastern Conference Futures. Oh my God, R2D2, my nephew actually fought in Ontario this Saturday. Damn, I wish I had known. I could have got a ton of people out. Twatty Latte says, nice, live show, fucking awesome. Yes, Kings Court will be live moving forward, and get your cash on in-play. These guys will be rolling. Okay, Reef New York says, Jimmy, you're speaking mad loud. Is that true? Am I speaking too loud? I apologize if that is the case. Okay, let's and my man Freddie will hook it up. We got a talent in there taking care of things. 7:30 Eastern time live. That's the new time slot, right? That's the new time slot for Kings Court, and I love it. I love it. I'm a big fan of the show, big fan of the Money Gang and all they're doing. So please support it. Okay. Let's get to work, everybody. Let's start with the Atlantic Division. We're going to go from the favorites all the way down, and I'd love your insight. I've not made any bets yet, but within 24 hours, I will be sending my futures in. Let's start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Over, under, and so the lines I'll be quoting are the lines that I use with my local, and that's Bet365 lines. 5 days a week at 7:30 Eastern Time, Kings Court. I can't wait to be a part of it. Okay. Arthur Mead Jr. says it's a Jameson. No, I don't drink in the morning unless it's Super Bowl Sunday or I'm at the horse track. Toronto Maple Leafs over under 106.5. That is juiced heavy to the under -130. For the division, the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Atlantic Division +160, to win the Eastern Conference +350, and to win the Cup +700. I see no value on any of those. I don't see any value on any play with the Maple Leafs right now. Hoops 590 says, I'm glad you exist, Bag. Much love, Hoops 590. Q Peso says, does Wayne Gretzky still play? It depends what sport you're talking about, because I believe he still drinks heavily on the golf course. Johnny Tavares was obviously an enormous pickup. Their depth at center is very good. They need to figure out the William Nylander contract. Their young forwards are incredible. Do they have enough depth on the blue line? Is there any... no need to apologize, my man. Is there any value with this Maple Leafs team? I say there is not. Homer says, going to basketball. I think Boston will win the East at even money, has value. Celtics team is loaded. Stevens is elite. Brad Stevens is a hell of a coach. But let's focus on hockey. I see no value on the Maple Leafs. Tampa Bay Lightning, points over under 105.5. Juice to the under. To win the division, they're plus 180. To win the East, plus 425. To win the Cup, plus 850. The Lightning made almost no changes. They gave Kucherov, JT Miller, and McDonough long-term contracts. They have so much depth. Their team will be very good. But seeing Yzerman leave the franchise does pop up some questions. Natalie Alvarez says, who's your best sleeper underrated team this season in the NHL? I think I've got him, but let's find him as we work together. Bill Butler guy, really like Lindsay player prop to have at least 13 carries. Okay, Bill, I will add this into our late show NFL breakdown. Thank you for sending it over to us. Bill Butler has been crushing these props, and I will copy and paste that there. Okay. Mr. Gokster says, Toronto's still a very young team with a lot to prove. Drew Daddy says, it's my 21st birthday, Jordan year. You know what that means? Birthday pick. You guys are the best. Wow, birthday pick. Okay, birthday pick. I'll give you a birthday pick right now. First 5 over 4 in the Cubs-Brewers game. That will be my birthday pick. God, I hope I can continue in that great history of succeeding that Peter Loshak has had with the birthday picks. Eddie Euler, Tampa Bay, 4 plus 465 to win the East on 5 dimes. Yes, must line shop with these future plays. Great call, Eddie Euler. Yeah, I mean, I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are a very, very good team. Is there value there, though? I don't know. I mean, I don't like making future bets at plus 425, to win the East, or plus 850 maybe. But why did Yzerman leave? Yzerman leaving is just red flags to me. So, again, I don't know what... And then this is a very tough division they're in. They're going to be playing Lightning. They're playing the Leafs and fighting with the Leafs to get out of the division. I don't see enough value there. Boston Bruins, over under 102.5 points, and it's juiced to the over. I think that's tough for this Bruins team. Yes, well, let's keep going. Their division is plus 180. So they're... and Twadi Latte's birthday was yesterday. I did not know that, Twadi Latte. My God. Happy birthday, my man. I got nothing but love for you. Division plus 180, East plus 425, Cup plus 850. Okay, yeah, maybe there's no better line than Marchand, Bergeron, and Pasternak, but are Bergeron and Krejci still a top 1-2 down the center ice? There's injury concerns for both players. I mean, if somebody was to say Bergeron, Krejci over under combined 100 games played this year in the NHL, I think I would take the under. Sassana says Bruins are my favorite pick to win the East. The question is, does their blue line have enough depth? I'm a huge Charlie McAvoy fan, but he's a beast on the blue line, but hurt his knee twice last year. What happens if he gets injured? Does Chara have another year in him? I don't know. And Eddie Euler saying, just pointing out the line. Okay, yeah, you're right. That is a much, much better line at 5 dimes, getting Tampa Bay at plus 465 rather than the plus 425 they're hanging. Eddie Euler saying Bergeron is injury prone. Listen, I would not take any futures on this Bruins team. I love them, but I can't trust that Bergeron and Krejci are still going to be able to be healthy down the middle. I just can't trust them. And you want big lines, and you're just not getting them. Sorry, I have the Florida Panthers here, and I had to have made a mistake here on what they are to win it all. So let me just quickly grab this to win outright here. This can't be right, what I wrote down. Florida Panthers plus 5,000. That makes more sense. Sorry, plus 5,000 here. Okay, Florida Panthers. See, here is a play here that I really think. I think the Florida Panthers have value. So when we're looking for future bets, I'm going to start with a asterisk by the Florida Panthers. I think their offense is incredible. Their over-under is 94.5. And now it's juiced to the over. I mean, minus 125 on the over, but I think they get to that. Division plus 1,600. I don't know if I'd make a move on that because the Lightning and Leafs are so strong, but 25 to 1 to win the East, 50 to 1 to win the Cup. I think now we're starting to talk about teams with value. They got Mike Hoffman for nothing. I mean, sadly, his wife comes with him. They could be a very good team if their goaltending holds up. They have huge, excellent defensive forward. They have everything you could want in the top 6 forwards. They have skill, size, and with Trocheck, you have defensive ability. You have penalty killing. Not applicable saying San Jose wins the Pacific. I agree. I think San Jose is going to be a very, very deadly hockey team this year. Panthers have value to me. I think I will possibly be making a future bet on the Florida Panthers. I think they are their top 6 forwards are incredible. Remember, they have a number 1 overall defenseman in Ekblad, who's just going to get better and better and better. Mr. Gogs says, I agree, Jimmy. See, Eddie Euler says Florida and Philadelphia have value. Philadelphia is a team that I will be making future bets on in the next 24 hours. Talk about a top 6 that's nasty. Is this Philadelphia Flyer top 6? I'm 100% with you, Eddie Euler. 100% with you. I think we're getting somewhere. I really do think that we are getting somewhere. Okay, so Florida Panthers is an asterisk. Now we have Buffalo Sabres over under 82.5 points, juice to the under. Division plus 3,000. The East and Cup, can you believe this? Are the same. The same. I'm shocked reading this as the Panthers. Come on. Can you believe that? That's a mistake. That the Buffalo Sabres have the same chances to succeed as the Florida Panthers. I mean, that's just a huge mistake. Q Wilson saying, did you have MLB futures? Yes, nice ones, but a lot. I'm very interested in what goes down today because I have 300 on the Dodgers at plus 190, 300 on the Cubs at minus 125. So I did put an $80 parlay with Rockies Brewers just in case. I had 500 on the Jays over under. I had 300 on the Royals under, and that was made with the low baggers. Right when we talked about Perez being hurt. So that was all because of the low baggers. I did lose 200 on the Giants over under, which was another play I made right after taking the Royals. And that was just out of being a fucking fanboy, which happened. R2T just says Panthers are amazing. Barkov from Finland and is in the best shape ever. Saw him training this summer with Line A and Granlund. I agree. Buffalo sucks as not applicable, but they're a very exciting young team. And this Jeff Skinner pickup, we have to remember, and those of you in hockey pools, how exciting Jeff Skinner is going to look. Only pick Jeff Skinner if you have a bench or an injury, that you can take him off, because this guy still has enormous concussion issues. He takes one major hit to the head, and he's going to be out. But god damn, Reinhart, Eichel, and Skinner on the line is dangerous. I'm a big fan of Reinhart. Finally started playing like a second overall draft pick in the second half of last year. All eyes are going to be on Rasmus Dahlin. I thought these guys, not applicable, says J-Bet, was pure cash, Jimmy. Yeah, you know what? When guys fade their team, they don't want to do it. I've always find when guys fade their team, that's when you tail immediately. King Rail says, all this NBA talk, I hope you guys join skiing myself on King's Court. Bring all that energy. We will. We'll be joining us. Joey Crawford says, huge Kings fan, but they ain't winning the division this year, unfortunately. I agree. Too old, too slow. I agree. Too old, too slow with that Kings team, and we'll be getting to that. Dan Kelly says, Buffalo's ownership probably taking one more year. Pegula knows what she's doing. If she can get one more great young player, it will be great in 3 years. I agree, Dan Kelly, but that's why the Jeff Skinner trade made no sense to me. That's why the Skinner trade makes me think they're trying to win now. Yes, and Mr. Gokser says, massive. Let's get to that. So then they're asking for too much from Casey Middlestad, but Ryan O'Reilly for Berglund, Sabatka, and Tage Thomas is a big move. It gives them veteran leadership again, which leads me to believe, Dan, that they're not playing for number 1 overall pick. And Ryan O'Reilly, as great as he is winning faceoffs, he broke the record for most faceoffs won last year. He's got character problems and just can't be trusted. It can't be believed in. So Yaya is joining us. Beautiful. Oiler Flyers versus Jets Stanley Cup. Plus 10,700. I love that. I love the Jets this year. I think that's incredibly exciting bet, Eddie Euler. So they get rid of Robin Lehner and Chad Johnson. Great. That's my only concern with the Flyers is they did not get rid of the terrible goaltenders. Replace them with Carter Hutton and Linus Ullmark. I love what they've done. I like what they've done. And the Skinner trade, to me, was sort of a red flag a bit if you were thinking that these Buffalo Sabres are just going to lose out. Freestyle Fakiri, where do you see Montreal this season? Just god-awful. And they're our next team. Their over-unders at 81.5, heavily juiced to the under. I'm shocked that they are plus 5,000 to win the division, plus 3,500 to win the East. Wow. So they have longer odds to win the division than to win the East. I guess you can understand that. Comic Ricky asking if Jessica Fine's under my desk. No, she's not. No, this is a clear. I have to focus. I think the Habs are going to be awful. And Freestyle Fakiri, I don't mean to hate, but I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I grew up in Vancouver and, at Pacific Coliseum when the the Habs or the Leafs would come to town, we would get, there'd be more Habs fans than Canucks fans. And my dad taught me to despise that and to despise all Leafs and Habs fans and their hockey team. And I've followed suit. I've followed through in our long family tradition of hating the Canadians and the Leafs. Drew and Campy believed in when the Habs traded Pacioretty for a bag of pucks, it told you that, simply put, they're not going to try. They're going to go for a number 1 overall draft pick this year. They have no depth anywhere. I can't wait to hear the boos. And Mr. Gokster saying, 4-card Tard says Coyotes over 82 points. We're going to get to that on the late show. I'm going to need a little bit more time in the afternoon. I'm just going to focus on Mr. Gokster says Battle of the Buffs, Montreal, Ottawa. Yes. And I don't know if I guess, we take the under here at minus 150. Why not? Probably should put a big bet on that Montreal Canadiens under. Eddie Euler says, who is worse, Montreal or Ottawa? I would say Montreal is worse, but Ottawa's over under 72.5 and Montreal's is 81.5. And that is only because of, I guess, Carey Price. Joey Crawford says Ottawa is worse. Let's get to Detroit Red Wings, because I think there's value on the over here at 73.5. It's juice to the under. It's getting a plus 100. I may make the move in the next few hours, and I will let you guys know that. Dan Kelly said I had the exact same experience, but it was Yankees fans coming into Cleveland. Yeah. Oh, I totally understand that, Dan. And it makes you angry. It makes you hate those teams. Okay, so Zetterberg looks like he's played his last game in the NHL. Franzen clearly has played his last game in the NHL because of concussion issues. Zetterberg's is back. This rebuild could be ugly, but they have some young kids who can play. The reason why I think there's value in this over 73.5 is because I really like this defensive core. They have a very strong defense, and a defense that I believe in. I'm going to back and support, I think, going to take a little bit more time, but I think I'm going to take the over 73.5 on the Detroit Red Wings. They have a youth movement and great defense, and nothing helps young forwards more than a solid veteran defense. And they have I really like their top 6. And Eddie Euler says Red Wings great in the preseason for what it's worth. You know what? Not applicable. Detroit, good young team that might sneak in the playoffs. Okay, so I wanted to talk everything out with you before I make a move. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be taking the under here on Detroit. I'll put another asterisk. We don't need to make him here. I'll make him in between shows, and then I'll just tell you guys what line I got. There's another play that I like. I like Florida Panthers futures, and I like the Detroit Red Wings over 73.5. Bookmaker has 75.5 for Detroit. Look at that. Wow. You have to line chop for these futures. And then Ottawa Senators, someone should ski mask Eugene Melnyk. This is just such a mess of a franchise. They're already out 45 minutes outside of Ottawa and Canada. Nobody's going to be going to Canada to watch a hockey game, and I don't blame you. I hope Brian Murray haunts Melnyk in his sleep. What an asshole Melnyk is. Duchesne is a dark cloud. The Avs got him out of the dressing room and started winning. Their goaltending was awful last year, and they did nothing to change it. That makes no sense to me. That does concern me about these Flyers. What a joke. Melnyk's just an ass, and they'll lose their franchise. I bet you the Senators lose their team. They need a downtown arena, a SAP, and it's all Melnyk's fault. I bet you they lose their team. Okay, so that is the Atlantic Division. So I'm thinking under in the Boston, although I like their young guys. Maybe I should. I'm just leaning it because I just don't think that Bergeron and Krejci will be injured. Be healthy this year. I'm going to take Florida Panthers futures. I'm going to take over in the points for the Panthers. I don't think I'll bother with the division. I think I'll go right to the East and to the Cup. But I might take the division. But yes, I am Florida Panthers, and I find a ton of value there. And I think we take the under in Montreal, even though it's juiced. I think I make a 2-unit bet on the under for the Canadians. I think I'll do that. I'm going to take the over with the Red Wings. And Kanata is what Joey Crawford. Yeah, no. Well, that was the original. If you want to know the rich history of our name, Canada, it actually is just the First Nations word for that village over there, which is Kanata, meaning that village over there. And some idiots from Europe were like, "Oh, Kanata, that must be the name of this place." And that's the rich heritage of how we got our name. European idiots. And but it is Kanata is just outside of Ottawa, but we do pronounce it Canada. Kanata, Canada, two different places. But who cares about the Great White North? Am I right? Who cares? Marco Lou says, Jimmy, can we do a horse capping show? We can, but we're going to focus all on the Breeders' Cup. I'm going to be focusing a ton of energy into that. Not applicable says Ottawa will be the new Quebec. Yes, let's get Ottawa to move to Quebec City. That would be wonderful. I would support that heavily. Arthur Mead says, I really like Carolina Hurricanes over the points. Well, let's get to that right now. Let's get to this Metropolitan Division. Perfect. Okay, so Pittsburgh Penguins, 101.5 points is their total. Under is it's juiced to the over. As always with Penguins fans and Penguins is we make a ton of futures on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The division's at plus 175. The East is at plus 600. The Cup is at plus 1,200. And listen to this. For the first time since I did not take the Penguins futures, when I was in Las Vegas and they were 66-1 just before the All-Star break, when they won their first Cup over the Detroit Red Wings in 7. For the first year since that year, now I did not have futures on the Penguins and I beat myself up. I've had futures on the Penguins every single year. I'm done. No more futures on the Pittsburgh Penguins for me. I just feel like they're another year older and they can't possibly be better. They just can't possibly be better to me. I'm very curious to hear what some of my guys, I have a conference call with some of my guys in Canada. One of them is a huge Penguins fan. I got a conference call coming up tonight because the hockey pools are all the hockey pools are being set for tonight and tomorrow night. So they're another year older. They brought in Jack Johnson. They brought in Matt Cullen, who's 42. They brought in Jimmy Hayes. Their defense is below average. They play Letang way too much money. 3 more years at 7.2 after this one. So 4 more years at 7.25 million. Crosby's 31. Letang's 31. Malcolm's 32. Brassard's 31. Kessel's 30. And remember, with Kessel, that's a fat 30. And Hagelin is 30. Listen, I don't trust this Penguins team. And for the first time in 10 years, I will not be making a future on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now we go to the Capitals, who have a ton of the same issues that we'll talk about with the Pens. Their team total points over-under is 99.5. Under minus 115, over minus 115. To win the division, they're plus 240. To win the East, plus 700. To win the Cup, plus 1,400. The Capitals brought in no helpful faces. The idiots decided not to give Trotz what he wanted. They'll pay the price for that. Carlson's an incredible defenseman, but they don't have a lot of depth behind him. And then we're dealing with the same injuries that the Penguins are dealing with. Ovechkin's 33. Backstrom's 30. Oshie's 31. These are the exact same issues. The exact same issues that you're dealing with the Penguins. So for the Capitals, I tell you what, Brian S. says Penn's age is a problem. Matt Murray was not good last year. I will stay away. I agree. It's time, Jimmy. I agree, says Mr. Gokster. I'm telling you, neither nor the Penguins or the Capitals are going to get a cent of my money put on them for futures. And here's a team that will. The Philadelphia Flyers. I just wish they fixed their goaltending issue. Can we trust Elliott and Newverth to do the job? That's the main question. Philadelphia Flyers, over-under total at 98.5. Both the under and overs at minus 115. To win the division, plus 600. Oh, I'm on that. I'm on the Flyers to win the division, plus 600. To win the East, plus 1,250. To win the Cup, plus 2,500. I think these are all plays that should be made. The JVR pickup I love. Their top 6 forwards are nasty. We're talking a ton of skill, a ton of size. Their defense is strong. A nice mix of offense and toughness. And Gudas is like one of the most dangerous hitters in the league. The question is goaltending. Will Elliott and Newverth do the job? Andrew Klein says mascot problem. So Jimmy for the Flyers. That's so funny. Eddie Oiler says Caps partied a lot this summer. Flyers, futures, book it. I'm on them. I'll figure out exactly how much money I'm going to bet, what the lines are going to be. I'll hammer that. Columbus Blue Jackets, 96.5. You know, Jarmo Kekalainen's done a great job putting this team together because it's an undesirable location. Nobody wants to sign long-term in Columbus. Their total is 96.5. A little bit juiced to the under. To win the division, plus 625. East, plus 1,250. Cup, plus 2,500. Listen, they have a good young hockey team. Their defense is very good. But I guess I just don't trust them in the long run. I despise Tortorella, and that's about it. Carolina Hurricanes, total. Oh, and also, how bad is their goaltending going to be, quite possibly, with Mrazek and Darling? Sorry, talking about the the Carolina Hurricanes. Excuse me. Sorry. Hurricanes goalie Mrazek and Darling could be awful. That's why, personally, I can't, even though 86.5 points is a very nice spot for the Hurricanes, I just don't feel like it makes sense to back them here. Their goaltending is such a question mark. And these young guys want to go. They know they can. So both the Hurricanes and the Blue Jackets have the same problem. They can't sign people long term. So they had to get rid of a guy like Skinner, who'd be very, very helpful. Dan Kelly saying great things. What a guy saying, sharpest NHL voice. Much love to you. Yes, you can be my agent, Dan Kelly. I would love to have you as my agent. Yes, I just feel like they're going to deal with the same problems. Yes. And that Hannafin Elias Lindholm trade is another red flag for me. Dougie Hamilton and Ferland, it caught me by surprise. I thought Hannafin was going to be a top 10 defenseman. Also, we know that this kid, who we thought could be a top 10 defenseman in the NHL, Dougie Hamilton, has been let go of by Boston, let go of by Calgary. The experts are doing enough information with us. I agree that, I think that 86.5 points is where it should be. And I can understand someone taking the over. I'm not going to do it. I think there's red flags coming up from this Hurricane spot, and I'm not going to back them. The Devils here at 91.5 points. So interesting. So the Carolina Hurricanes over-under is just 86.5 points. Yet to win the division, they're plus 900, which is so interesting that the Devils, who have they're 5 points higher for their season total over-under, are plus 1,200 to win the division. I find that extremely interesting and maybe worth taking advantage of. It's hard to do that. The Devils are plus 2,000 to win the East, plus 4,000 to win the Cup. The Devils did very little in the offseason. They're going to run with their young, improving lineup. The big question around them is, can Schneider come back to being a top 10 goalie? Hersher is another year older. Him and Taylor Hall could be nasty together, should be nasty together. And they have more depth than it looks. They have strong draft picks, young players ready to step up. I find the Devils very interesting, but I don't think I will be making a move on their futures. And then finally, we come with the Rangers and the Islanders. The Rangers at 77.5. That's a very low total. The Rangers did nothing in the offseason to give their team any hope. That total of 77.5 is juiced to the under at minus 130. The division, they're 18-1. The East, they're 35-1. And to win the Cup, they're 70-1. Their forwards have a lot of skill, you know. Their top six can score, and their power play should be good. Their defense just looks very weak. And the big question is, does King Henrik have more gas in the tank? It really does come down to that. Does King Henrik have more gas in the tank? Coco Bongo saying Carolina has no defense. Eddie Oilers says, can Hall do it again? I think Hall could do it again. Not Applicable says Devils could be a dark horse. They could be. And Kylie Reynolds getting 4.5. You know what? You're getting a plus spot. You know, I bet the 4.5. I made the 4 a play on the show. I think that the over 77.5 is not something that's out of the question for me, making a play on for the Rangers. I do feel like if Zibanejad can stay healthy, they have some nice pieces up front. I believed in the Nemesnikov, and I thought that was a pretty good score when they got him off of the Lightning. And, they have offense. I'm interested. Eddie Oilers says Rangers rookie, good at MSG. I'm interested in this 77.5. I think that might just be low enough to go over. It's already juiced to the under. People fading the Rangers. I'm interested. I might take a look at that in the break. And then Islanders, 5 points higher at 82.5. Barzil's team now with Tavares' departure. A lot of pressure on this kid. Their goaltending will be horrifying again this year. Robin Lehner is the starter. I don't know why they haven't done anything to fix it, but, they have a whole new brain trust in there. And 2 of the sharpest, oldest minds in the league now taking over this Islanders front office. And having Trotzy behind the bench is going to help. And but Barzal, making him the first line center and putting all the pressure on him just kind of spells a sophomore jinx or puts him in a situation for a sophomore jinx. Josh Bailey was awesome last year. Can he do it again without Tavares? Big question mark. But he'll have Barzal. Anders Lee needs to continue stepping up. This defense has very little depth. And that's what we saw last year. Remember, we started fading the Islanders every single game once they lost 2 of their top 4 defensemen. We'll be doing that again this year. Any team that loses 2 of their top 4 defensemen will be faded every game. Now, remember, we did that with great success with the Islanders, but we did that with very little success against the Avalanche when they lost 2 of their top 4 defensemen. So obviously, it's not like a thing we can do blindly, even though I will do it blindly. But we saw when it works and we saw when it doesn't work, and we have to keep aware of that. Dan Kelly saying Joker at 4, Sochi 1. Love that. Let's get the month off to a winning start. And that is the Eastern Conference breakdown. So right now, to me, I'm going to be making a move on the Florida Panthers. I'm going to be making a move on the under with the Canadian points. I'm going to make a move on the over with the Red Wings. And, yeah, I guess that's all. I mean, it'd be crazy to make a move on them on any other futures. They're 125 to 1 to win the Cup, 66 to 1 to win the East. And then I'm going to be making a move on the Flyers futures in a big way. Over team or points, and then Division East and the Cup. And then I may make a move on the Rangers on the over the 77.5 points. I may make a move. And that's what's up. So that is our Eastern Conference futures breakdown. I will be making my bets now in between shows, and then I'll let you know what they are, and we'll lock them in on the show. And that is that. Thank you guys for joining us. Eddie Euler talking about Trotzy in New York. Yes, I think that's a big move. Mr. Gokster saying Jets, Jets, Jets. I will be making a future of some kind on the Jets. Don't you worry about that, Gokster. Dan Kelly says, how about the Pens under? You know, I feel that's a pretty sharp line that they gave them. Dan, it's pretty much right around where they were last year. And where they were last year was with a healthy Malkin. Yeah, clearly, if I had to make a bet, I would take the under 101.5 points. And maybe I will, Dan. Maybe that is the play to make. Maybe I will. I'm going to be deep diving for the next 48 hours into hockey because I got my hockey pools coming up in the next 48 hours. Not applicable saying no Ducks, Jimmy. You know what? The Ducks to me are much like the Penguins and the Capitals. I feel like they're going to be trending down. And but that's going to take a ton more study for me, and I love doing this study. Not applicable saying Jets Leafs for the Cup. That would be wonderful for Canada and bad for the NHL. But that's what's up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Means the world to have you guys with me. I'm going to be running solo all week, so I will need you guys desperately. Let's all go watch some baseball. Enjoy the wild card. Let's come back here richer than when we left. Much love to all you guys. Oh, Bookmaker has 102.5. Interesting. That point could be very, very crucial. Much love, you guys. We will see you again at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's have a lucrative afternoon. And thank you so much for joining.